Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. World 3 Enterprise fans, welcome to our 10 p.m. match. It is Silverfyre versus rexxraul. I am Mitzi in the booth, joined by Rybon. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. We're entering the second weekend of the Adamant Cup group stages, and things are really going to heat up with all of these group matches. A lot of people are getting close to finishing their 5 or 6 matches in their group. As we have one of our racers, rexxraul, this evening playing his final match in the Crystal Ring group. Silverfyre, however, playing their second match of this Crystal Ring group, and both of them have very interesting storylines entering this match.
Absolutely. Silverfyre so far, they are 1-0. Rex is 2-2, and basically at this point, Rex is in a win or be out sort of scenario. Silverfyre, they still have a few more matches and still have a chance to catch Xenocat, who is 4-0 in this group and is currently leading the group standings. So definitely must win for rexxraul here to avoid 3 losses and keep his potential hopes alive. And Silverfyre doesn't want to drop a loss. You want to win your group. You don't want to play in a 2-3 winner take all match. You want to win. You want to just relax for that week and just hang out and wait for your opponent, whoever they may be. So we've got 7 objectives here. The goal in this is to finish all 7. We've had tournaments in the past where you might do 4 or 5 and might do 3 or 4, I believe it was, but we've got all 7. So we've got Burn the Village Mist with the package, Forge with our best buddy Lord Coco, the Legend Sword with the Adamant, Complete the Giant, so that could always be fun. Destroy the Super Cannon, so Tower or Bust. Liberate Baron Castle. Defeat the King at the Town of the Monsters, aka the Fey March. And return the Pan to Yang's Way. So definitely some interesting objectives there, Rybon. What do you make of the objectives? What would you do if you were Silverfyre or rexxraul at this point? I see it lighting up, but maybe there's some small technical difficulties there. But yeah, we see some interesting naming from both players. It's always fun to see. Unfortunately, I don't know who Rand is. I do know, and I don't know who Charlie X is, but Variable telling me it's Charlie XCX. So. Yeah, so I know who Bones is, Sarek. I don't know if that's Sarek, but that's just personal preference there. Ura, Savik. It's very interesting here. So we will definitely be going live with our runners right about now, I would say.
Yep, and based on these objectives, I mean, 8 key items required. This is going to be an interesting and potentially longer flag set, starting with an edge. We get a Porum partner, a tiara, a siren, a soma drop. Not really what you're looking for from the starting situation here.
No, I would have rather seen the turtle at required elements, because that's always bad, which is always good for a good race. But you know, we'll see. Maybe there'll be things there.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff that we can still look forward to up there on that required giant. There could be, you know, an all gauntlet, anything that, you know, could give our runners a little bit of a pause or a little bit of a challenge. But we are pretty much off, and I wonder where our 2 runners will be going first.
So yeah, we're just syncing up our racers here. So I think with this team, Edge, Form, slap on a tiara, maybe make the Eblin play, get some nice swords for Edge potentially. But it looks as though Sil is going to go there, going to go to Damsian. Always a good check there. And looks like rexxraul, a little bit of divergence here. He's going to check out probably Bedward. On this flag set, we have had the free character check here, which in normally most of our tournaments we have a Demas hunt, but we thought we'd change it up this time around. And we will see what our best buddy Edward here gives to us, and it is a book. Interesting.
Yeah, to give us a little bit of hope right now for a potential required hook route. We have no magma key after all. Be interesting to see if Sylverfyre and they do launch the hovercraft. Interesting choice. It's going to definitely pay off for them because that hook is going to be easily achievable or easily found right after they head over to Troya to pick up that hook. But with no required hook objectives, it's not something that a lot of people would normally do. So it's definitely going to work out for them. Glad it will. Rex in the meantime, heading on over, launching his hovercraft. I wouldn't be surprised if he can head down to Eblin Cape to check that restricted character check relatively quickly.
Absolutely, and also checking that Eblin shop as we see Sylverfyre. They are looting the backside of the watery pass. I've seen some runners do this, and it has mixed results. There is a potential for some really good loot back here. It doesn't seem anything super amazing back there, but definitely worth a while. It looks as though rexxraul is going to go and check for that gated character. And definitely you want to check that shop. The Eblin cave shop seems to have all the goodies.
Yeah, definitely. I don't hate the watery pass loot. It's a more untraditional loot on this flag set. Generally, you have a similar percentage chance of pulling decent loot from Eblin Castle. Only with watery pass, you don't have the trap chest that you have to deal with. However, without an exit caster or a source of exit, maybe like an exit item, full looting it generally doesn't seem to be as popular among some runners. Unfortunately for Sylverfyre, didn't pull anything of significance there. I believe an Elven Bow maybe at best, but who knows? Probably will be following rexxraul down the hook route shortly afterwards.
Absolutely. Sylverfyre's checking out the public treasury, which rexxraul did not. Sometimes I pull good stuff out of here, sometimes I don't. There is an exit there, so that definitely helps you out there for Sylverfyre versus Rex, who will have to take the long walk back in. And also, thank you, eNinja, for the raid. Welcome everyone from eNinja stream in. Sit down, get comfy. We have some fun objectives here, and we have a Sid with Asura. So, what do you think about that, Ryla?
I think that gives a lot of advantage to Silver right now. So Sylverfyre did find that mute knife in the public treasury that Rex did not. That is going to tear up that Asura should this hook route be required. Additionally, as you mentioned, that exit that Silver found in the public treasury is going to be pretty huge if they come on down to check and pick up the Sid, do a little bit of looting, could definitely reduce the amount of time required to get out of here, as you mentioned. Whereas, you're right, Rex is going to have to hoof it.
Absolutely. The mute knife is huge, as Xenocat has also said in chat, especially against Asura. The quad, correct me if I'm wrong, it's quad damage against Asura?
I believe so, and generally the same amount of damage of the longsword for edge. Little lower accuracy, but generally the same amount of damage output. So as is right now, I don't believe we have any decent equipment for our edge, other than that mute knife.
Yeah, I mean, it will definitely do work. You'd love to have, the Masa Mira or, the Masa combination, but there's a Mura there for Rex he was able to pull out, so his edge will have a little more utility at this point, but looks as though the runners are just basically crisscrossing each other at this point, minus looting the watery pass at this point. So we'll see where Rex goes from here. Looks as though he's decided to just sort of back out there, and it looks as though Sylverfyre is going to go up Hobbs, and we'll see who our character is there.
Yep, I do like Rex's initial looting strategy here, finding that Murasame, finding a middle sword as well as a rune axe for that Sid. Has a lot of early game power. We'll be able to just get through all of these early game checks, whether it's Hobbs with his Ogopogo, with Iridia waiting, or pretty much everything else. Ordeals should pose little problem with the amount of offense that rexxraul currently has.
Absolutely, it's kind of two sides of the same coin at this point here, and unfortunately, although the runners love to see it, as we as the audience and the fans hate to see Ogopogo here at the top of Mount Hobbs, and is done in quite quickly by sylverfyre. And they're going to take Redhead Rydia there. I'm not sure where she's exactly from, but that is a very cute sprite. And we will see what they do next.
So down here in Eblin Cave, we find Coffins and Siren in the shop. Both very useful. Siren's less so at the moment, but if we happen to find a Magma Key, that is, hey, if I want to get my characters to endgame levels, I can do that with the power of pay to win.
Absolutely, crack some eggs, or not even, just use those coffins, and as you said, Ryban, pay to win, and I definitely don't hate it. But it looks as though sylverfyre is going to go and loot Antlion Cave, and we are going to see our first boss check. Antlion is usually pretty free, regardless of levels. Only has 1,000 HP, and is definitely... They'll definitely want to see, hopefully, a painful boss there. Maybe a Val, maybe Blarg will be there. Who knows?
Yep, early Blarg here, early Val, early Golbez. Not what you want to see here with the Kyphogars, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Rex, pretty much trailing sylverfyre at the moment, heading up Mount Hobbs, takes its Rydia. Now, one thing that I would be interested to see, or will be interested to see if our runners do tonight, that Rydia, the perfect anchor right now. I mean, sure, we do have a dwarf axe for that Sid, at least I believe one of the runners does. But Rydia sturdy at 4 agility, with the potential hook route required on the horizon. You may want to make her take a nap right now.
Yep, it looks as though sylverfyre, they're going to go in a different direction. And for that, we have some music. So potentially some music on the horizon. We will see what they do at this point. But still, I think wanted to power up Rydia there. This warp will definitely take a little bit of the sting out of getting out of this cave. Saving that exit for another day, which I definitely am on board with at this point.
So music, relatively unpopular check for some people in the community, moderately long. It'll be interesting to see if sylverfyre takes it in the near term. I'm sure they'll take it prior to a hook route, if the hook route ends up being required. But might be a little too difficult of a check at the moment. Meanwhile, for Rex, doing the front side of Hobbs, so we get a random summon. I believe that is a bomb, so not a whole lot of value, unfortunately, for Rex.
Yeah, you hate to see it as a runner. Bomb is way down there with him in terms of the summons you want to see. You want to see a Sylph there. You want to see a Titan. You want to see something that has a little bit of pep, a little bit of substance there. But we do see looting on the backside here of Hobbs by Rex, and picks up a Soma drop. Never hate to see that.
Soma drop, not bad. That Hourglass too, as well, could be pivotal if there's something like Dark Imps waiting at King Queen Eblin on the hook route, or some other kind of stoppable boss, because for the time being, sylverfyre has not yet found an Hourglass or anything like that.
This is true, and sylverfyre's gone over to Peru and is going to run into everybody's favorite animal in the world, Leviathan. And again, another boss, depending on the position, that can be really, really scary in this spot here. A little more tame. You're going to see Big Wave come out here and do quarter damage, which at these levels is not that much. And I think combined it's about 1,500 HP here. So Edge doing some work there. It's going to be a little bit of work, but not too much. And they should be able to be through there before Leviathan does anything too crazy here with his Ice Tooth.
Yep, absolutely. The Leviathan takes the dive here. And we'll find our item from full defense shortly. Meanwhile, Rex throwing out what I believe would be a Stardust. Oh, no.
Change his mind.
Either way, throwing out a J item, getting through this fight relatively quickly.
Yep. And it's just a pass. I mean, some people might go, yay, pass. I don't have to go through the lunar subterrane, but probably not what they were looking for. They were probably looking for a magnet key because nobody likes to do the hook route, especially when it's not in one of the objectives. So we will definitely see in regards to that and see where they end up next as rexxraul does make the walk out here.
Yeah, they may not like to do the hook route, but we love to watch the hook route.
Absolutely. I mean, we know Asura will probably not be too difficult, but hoping the boss in front. Still hoping for DKC potentially there. That can always make things exciting. Evil Wall also makes things exciting there. So there's still some hope. But looks like sylverfyre, they're going to go into Eblin Castle and do some looting there. What do you think on this flag set about this play, Rybon?
So Eblin is a very popular looting check. I mean, generally the same loot curve as Watery Pass, only the chests are far more condensed. And with the 3 trap chests here, outside of the looter subterrane, Eblin Castle had the highest chance of dropping a tier 8 item. That's a crystal sword, an Excalibur, or a game-changing adamant armor. That can really just, change the game for anyone. It can make the impossible possible if you happen to find it. But of course, you do have to get through these trap chests, which sylverfyre is having a little bit of trouble with right now. Without something like an Hourglass 2, Coffins, or other nice J items, you generally have to try to power through it, and with Edge taking a nap, they may not have the offense to get through this fight right here.
It is a little touch and go for them at this point. Throw out the illusion there, definitely help against some physical damage, but you need that Edge back up and running for sure. But gets the stop off on the Staleman there, so should be able to bring back up Edge and get through. A little dicey, but they seem to be okay.
Yeah, a very good recovery on sylverfyre's side, and we'll see if this particular fight was worth it. I mean, at the very least, there's a fair amount of XP that can be had from doing these trap chests. Each one's worth about 7, 8, 10k XP, and some are life glitchable as well.
Absolutely, and having more levels is definitely good. As you see on Rex's side, he picks up the pass and is going to go on. We'll see where he ends up next, whether he ends up looting Baron Inn or going to Eblin, or who knows.
But that's our first trap chest down. That's a ton of levels for all of sylverfyre's players. And we have a glass hat, which, I mean, it's not the worst thing you can find, but it isn't exactly what you were looking for.
No, like you said there, you're looking at that chance of that tier 8 loot you want, maybe that crystal sword, that game-changing adamant armor, and glass hat's okay for Edge there. It'll work for him.
At the very least, the glass hat will enable sylverfyre to do the other trap chest if they choose to do so. About the adamant armor is going to give you the best bang for your buck, the pretty much physical or nigh-physical invincibility from most enemies in the game. The glass hat is about as close as you're going to get to that outside the adamant armor.
Absolutely, and you do see that Porum definitely learns exit well before anybody else, aka Rosa and Tella and Fu. So definitely good to exit out there and then come back in and do the looting there, because definitely anytime that you're stopped, you're not moving. When you're not moving, you're not progressing. So you definitely want to keep moving on this flag set. Those exit spells are worth their weight in gold.
Yep, as they say, always be pressing buttons, and you'll see some players do it like Rex right now. Always be pressing buttons, pressing the R button, switching characters on the overworld. Sometimes I think you move a little faster when you do that.
Psychological advantage is an advantage, they say. A nice sorcerer rope there for sylverfyre, and that untrapped chest. Definitely will never say no to that.
Yeah, so for sylverfyre, their group is very well equipped right now. Outside of a decent piece of body armor for Edge, they are all equipped with stuff that can take them to the endgame. They can fight Zeromus with this if they want to. Of course, I'm sure they're looking for something a little more important, something maybe from these Mad Ogres, which will melt like butter due to the 2 mute daggers that sylverfyre's Edge currently has equipped.
Yep. Each ogre has 1800 HP and 1600 there. Definitely, you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it.
One thing you don't love to see, though, Water Hag up here at Ordeals 1. Ugh. One of the easiest, least punchy spots in the game, and also one of the freest bosses that we could possibly find.
Absolutely. It's again, it's a little unfortunate, but it's good for us in that still the more scary bosses will come on later. And what's his old zombie dance party at the Mylon Z spot or Mylon Z spot, depending on who you are.
So, guess what we just found?
I see we found a shiny sort of armor that I guess we'll put on one of our characters because it's kind of good.
So I was mentioning that we needed some kind of body armor for Edge. Well, we found some body armor for Edge, and we are pretty much good to go. If I thought Rex had an advantage with finding those swords early on, Silver now has a significant advantage. And there's something I'd like to say when I review the Adamant Cup group races, which is Adamant parity. The longer that we are not at Adamant parity, so sylverfyre currently has the Adamant advantage, the longer that advantage is going to compound. Rex needs to find some way to match that advantage, find an adamant of his own, otherwise sylverfyre's power is going to spiral out of control.
Yes, definitely minutes at the beginning of these seeds on the flag set can definitely compound in the later game, and you will definitely see that as sylverfyre just basically tears through these bosses with that adamant armor. And you're hoping, if you're rexxraul, that going up Ordeals is going to be worth it because this zombie dance party is taking forever. Unfortunately, I didn't see what just came out of that treasure chest there.
Oh, that was a white shirt. A nice little upgrade for Porum. And I guess Rydia, if you want to equip it on her while she's still a child. But yeah, probably going on the Porum shortly. But unfortunately, not a second adamant. Granted, the second adamant, not as good as the first.
This is very true. The first is always the best. And I think Porum's on sylverfyre's team for the long haul as they fed her Porum some apples there. So she's got a little more HP, a little more heft there. So we will definitely see how that plays out. And also not equipping right away. I love that play because that just takes time away. Wait until you're near the boss, and then if you got any more gear, do your menus once and just go from there. So we will see if they are going to challenge this hook route.
It's a little bit of a dangerous play to dive the hook route right now. While sylverfyre certainly has the equipment and the power to do so, and will also have a ready-made anchor in the Sid that they find down here, along with the dwarf axe that they picked up at the entrance of Eblin Cave. There could still be a magma key out there. It could be here behind Ordeals, for example, or it could be behind that twin harp that both runners have been fading up to this point. And if so, that could be a bit of a time thing, just diving down that hook route, spending an additional 5 minutes trying to get to underground access.
Absolutely. Also, Wolfman 2000, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Get in, get comfy. It's a Crystal Wing matchup. Basically, elimination match for rexxraul. So it's good times, and you're here and you haven't missed too much. So just to casually bring you back up to speed, the runners are crisscrossing a little bit. Sylverfyre was able to pull an adamant armor out of Eblin Castle. rexxraul has not. This is our first big divergence here where Rex has gone up Ordeals, and we will shortly see if all of his work with Zombie Dance Party was worth it.
And our item from Ordeals is a White Spear. Wouldn't be too happy with that. This Ordeals play can still play off, however, if we find a Cecil or if we find a Tella and be able to use them to their highest amount of power. Wyvern did not get one shot, unfortunately. Did get 2 shot, thankfully. No Blarg today. But that is a scary place to find a Wyvern.
Yeah, definitely scary, but I mean, if you're Rex and you happen to like Blarg, I believe he saved before, so you just sort of save yourself the pain of having to go through all that again. But yeah, so your rexxraul, you probably feel like you're a little bit behind at this point. While we do see sylverfyre, they are going to challenge the hook crypt. They have decided, you know what? Let's go in here. Maybe they're just looting, but I don't think so, no. Definitely making the play, and I do like this play at this point. It might seem like their team is a little underpowered, but sometimes you got to make these bold moves, and definitely hope that Magna Key isn't hanging out there at Twin Park. But you know, that's the name of the game. Sometimes you got to make these moves, and you got to take calculated risks, and I believe this is a good play on them.
Absolutely, it's a very bold play. If they're the Magna Key elsewhere on the overworld, it's an advantage Rex, but sylverfyre with that adamant armor, there is very little that can challenge them here. That Asura is going to melt. Only a few bosses at King Queen Eblin can really challenge, and if we find them, chances are it would be justification or verification that magma is available on the overworld. Something like a Golbez, for example, would probably challenge Silver to the point where they would have a hard time getting through that fight. But we're going to be seeing now that it is elements, suggesting that this may actually be a required hook route.
Yes, it definitely very well may be. And it looks as though Rosa was hanging out in the Baron Inn all along. It looks as though it was, well, I can't remember the first boss, but Mylon Z here at the Yang spot.
Yep, that it is. Silver through the element spot over here on the hook route will be taking on their Asura very shortly. And if you are rexxraul right here, do you ditch that Porum for a Rosa, or are you too committed to her right now?
Based on what I see, I don't think that Porum stays around. I think Rosa's utility as a white mage is much better than Porum's. Rosa learns Cure for level 38, whereas Porum learns it at level, I believe, 48. So there's that. There's also Sand Ruby. Maybe our Cecil's behind the Sand Ruby. So that is definitely something that I would check, personally speaking. It looks as though on sylverfyre's side, they are looking to set up, I believe, the manipulation where you basically keep Asura on the light 1 base, and then that basically just takes care of things.
Well, here comes Plan Q, which is Berserk with a Q in it. Edge is very, very, very angry now, but not that it matters. We've reflected a Star Veil back at Asura. If she happens to throw a Cure 4 on herself, it doesn't matter. And the Cure 3 here doesn't heal for a whole lot, so sylverfyre will be through the fight very shortly. The underground at a, sub 30 minutes, which is very good for a hook route. Meanwhile, Rex is checking that Sand Ruby. If this is a Cecil, that may very well push Rex to Castle Eblin, where he may find an adamant armor.
Absolutely, he's hoping that he's committed to this play, so he's got to see it out now, and it's duplicate Rosa.
We have one dupe every seed, and we have found it. Every character up here, there are 13 character checks, however, and 12 characters, so we have to have at least one dupe. Cecil, there's only one of him, but he's hiding somewhere.
Absolutely, he might be behind the giant. Who knows? But yes, as Scala noted in chat, it is a vanilla Rosa sitting in the bed, just hanging out, playing Nintendo, doing whatever she does.
Sylverfyre hits the pitfall at 25:21, I believe, which is an outstanding time for a hook route. And we find a Yang, or a Karate, waiting at the top of tower. With the power of that adamant armor, do you go to top of tower right now, or where do you route yourself with your sylverfyre?
Well, there's basically two schools of thought here, Rymon. Number one, check your freebies, or number two, make a bold play. You've already made one bold play and it's paid off. Do you go up? Is it required to go to top of tower to get that tower key to destroy the super cannon? I mean, you're there. I say you go up the tower, but that's me.
Looks like sylverfyre, however, heading down to Tamra, which I don't mind. I recently begun, at least in my play, routing in Tamara as my first check because often I'll just forget it entirely, and there could be just something very valuable there. We've already found Sirens, but Hourglass Tooth, Bacchus Wine would be huge for this party. Job Dwarf today, by the way, being a computer systems engineer, a very lucrative career, I hear.
Yes, very lucrative and validating the seed. So you love to see that, and looks as though they are just considering what they might buy for weapons, and have ultimately decided, no, you know what, I don't need any weapons. Let's check the item shop here and see what we got. And everyone get your drinks on. So look for Sylverfyre. They're gonna probably sell quite a bit of the inventory there as much as they can to get those drinks. Even selling the Soma drop, you love to see it. Starting dominance, and for their trouble, they will get $5 one. So definitely a good choice there. As Zerking, the Z fight, looking towards more at the end of the seed, is pretty popular on this black side.
Sylverfyre saying, yes, I would like all the Bacchus wines. Well, only 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sylverfyre heads back down to Tamara at some point to pick up even more, especially once they have a surplus of cash. Maybe a little strapped at the moment. But yeah, a lot of fights can be boiled down to get Edge's turn up, drink a Bacchus wine, put the controller down, especially with that adamant armor that they currently have. Meanwhile, we have Rex heading down Cave Magnes, and we'll be getting music very shortly.
Yeah, another chat favorite. If you're new to the FF4FE Enterprise community, we do have randomized music instead of the regular Edward Harp song. At Twin Harp, we have one of, I believe it's over 160. It might be even more than that. Oh, it's like 400. Thank you.
400 million.
Thank you, Ear in the Sky, but I will be quiet now as Dark Elf does his thing there, and we will get music on Rex's side.
Stop hitting yourself, Rydia. Stop hitting yourself.
She doesn't know what to do with herself.
Dark Elf will show you how to hit yourself. And we are through. I believe that was Fighting of the Spirit from the Tales games. Tales series appears in multiple games in that series. Baigan taken care of here at the Cave Magnes, and we'll see if this dive was worth it or not.
And show me potato salad. It's a darkness crystal. Definitely a good play for Rex.
Yep, it's a bit of advantage Rex right now. Could check that restricted character up there on the lunar dais. has a number of grinds now available to him, with coffins, with a white mage that can cast mute with sirens, a warlock grind on the table as well, and could do an early moon dive if he feels like he needs to. Unfortunately, because he traded that Porum out for a Rosa, has to do a little bit of walk here, but doesn't take too much time. Sylverfyre, meanwhile, down in Fey March, found a life staff in the freebie, so unfortunately a bit of a womp for them. But we're about to get our first peek at the Fey March bosses.
Absolutely, and since we need the king, we will see. Oh, it's a Mamba. That's just it's very punchy for some reason, even though Leviathan in the game doesn't have any physical attack. The developers decided to give this spot a lot of physical attack power, so we'll see how they get through.
This fight sucks, unless you have an Adamant armor and your back row. Then it's not too bad, and guess what Sylverfyre does, or has?
Oh yes, the great equalizer. Sometimes I forget that. Still gross though.
So everyone else is probably dead, but that doesn't matter. Sylverfyre is going to get through this fight most likely. And did you spy who was at the queen spot?
You know, I didn't do that, but I betcha chat will bail me out on this one. Chat, help Nitzy out. It was Dolls.
It was Magus Sisters.
Or it was Magus Sisters. I went with the first one, right? So it's 50-50.
Chat is leading us astray. But yeah, Magus Sisters, Mute Knives, a very good combination.
Yes, you love to see it. So it's tough to say. Rex, on one hand, has the advantage if, let's say, he goes up there and there's a Cecil on the moon. He's already ready to go. If it's a Zonk like Edward or Hella, it's tough. We'll see how that plays out in the next few minutes here.
Yep, I'm sure Rex is hoping for that Cecil, and the longer this Adamant advantage lasts on Sylverfyre's side, the more that advantage continues to compound. Sylverfyre about to complete their first objective here at Mombom, assuming that they get through this particular fight, and we'll have a leg up on Rex, unless this really pays off here.
Absolutely, chat reminding us that the Explode doesn't care about your Adamant armor, and it is a Cecil on the moon, so this is definitely turning out to be a very interesting play.
It is. So that Cecil probably makes Rex very happy. Interesting that Silver did not get that Mom Bomb killed in time. I guess Jeff wasn't doing sufficient damage. You have to do additional 9,000 damage after Mom Bomb is triggered to turn into or explode. So had a little bit of a challenge here. We'll probably be able to knock down at least 4 of these, but the follow-on explosions, didn't actually one-shot the blue bomb. This is actually quite bad for Sylverfyre here.
Yeah, it's going to be a little spicy, but we will see if they are able to make it through. Meanwhile, Rex checking the Hummingway shop there. Nothing of really great significance in that shop there, as they are probably going to go maybe to Cape value. Look at that. Nitzy can predict the future. And unfortunately, those Mom Bombs have taken down Sylverfyre. So I would say at this point, small advantage to Rex. Although he's going to have to come down there and deal with the same problems there as well. So we'll see if Sylverfyre takes another crack at this Mom Bomb spot. What would you do, Rybon, if you just unfortunately wiped there? Would you go back into it?
I'd first take 2 seconds and try to breathe and try not to tilt in the situation, because you feel really bad after investing that amount of time into a fight. You feel like, oh man, I'm suddenly behind. But with that Adamant armor, Sylverfyre is going to take on the Magus Sisters. I don't mind this. Could get additional levels, could get additional power as a result of this. A second Adamant armor, which could drop from here, would allow a second character to survive those Mom Bomb punches. So maybe pursuing that. There is, however, the argument that it may be time to take a break, go someplace else. You have plenty of other checks. As much as I like trying to single dip the Feymarch, when I noticed that Sylverfyre did not actually one-shot those blue bombs, it looked pretty spicy. And I don't think that it's a very decent or a very plausible fight at the moment, so it may be time to depart.
And on Rex's side, you see a very gross Valvalis at Cape Aham here. He's gonna get some levels on his team there. Get the double King Ryu. Everybody loves a Dragon Grind. But they're punchy.
They're punchy, but they're also stopped. That hourglass that Rex had as an advantage over Silver is being used here. With a life glitch, about 90k XP, a great amount of XP for that early Cecil that we have right here. We'll shoot him up from like level 1, like level 31, 32, and really get him online very quickly.
The problem is, though, the King Ryus have a ton of HP. You have no way to meet them. Yeah, you can stop them, but as you see there, doing 400, doing 100, doing 600, this is going to take a fair amount of time.
Yeah, this is unfortunate just due to the lack of having Berserk. Attempting to use the Power Staff to Berserk Edge here did not work, but I believe we made the additional attempt from Rex.
Yeah, unfortunately, first time didn't work, and unfortunately, second time.
Meanwhile, Silver on the other side, getting through Maga Sisters, and we'll see if this is value or not.
Absolutely. Definitely at least getting 33,000 experience and getting some levels on your team there. Never hurts. And it's a fun lance for King, or a fun lance for Edge to throw. Unfortunately, a Zonk.
Unfortunately, a Zonk, and unfortunately an item that's not going to help too much against that Mom Bomb. Now, Sylverfyre had the choice here. Attempt that Mom Bomb one more time, which the only real delta is that 33k XP that you just got from the Maga Sister spot. Do you believe you've gotten enough, power, enough levels, enough strength on Edge from that amount of experience to make the difference and kill the Mom Bomb before it explodes, or you come back later?
I think I come back later since Sylverfyre doesn't have as much offense. Yeah, you have the Adamant armor, which is great, and it does definitely provide some help there. The Mute and the long longsword, I think it's just a little too weak at this point. I would probably bail out at this point and come back later. It sucks. You want a single dip, as you said, but sometimes you have to realize that you're just not powerful enough, and you just need to move on. And God loves Sid, but he's a tank. He's not a DPS.
Sylverfyre is no quitter, heading back on down to try to take on that Mom Bomb a second time. Interesting note, though. So we found a Murasame, or at least Rex found a Murasame down in Cave Eblin, but Sylverfyre, I noticed, was looting, but apparently did not find that particular chest. Murasame could be quite useful here, but unfortunately for Silver, not in their inventory right now.
Yeah, question in chat, does the Adamant prevent the Power Bomb from casting Berserk? It does, but also the Glass Hat is stopping it as well on Edge. So maybe Rex is not familiar with that, but that's why usually with Power Bomb there, it's usually first try every single time. As we see Sylverfyre, they're going to go for round 2 against Mom Bomb. Let's hope for some better results.
This one's going a little nicer. At least all of Sylverfyre's characters remain up at this point, getting a few Leviathans off. Links are coming up. The party may very well survive this attempt, and with the additional power behind the Leviathan summon, may do enough damage to kill the Mom Bomb before it explodes.
I'm sure that's Sylverfyre's angle. Meanwhile, finally, you're through here. It took a long time, but you got 60,000 experience. I don't know if it's me, and I know you're on the moon right now, but I probably don't take that fight at that point. I would rather go crack some eggs. If I can crack 2 eggs, that's 68,000 experience, and I'm definitely not spending about 4 or 5 minutes getting that experience. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I'm guessing that Rex did not get a life glitch off, which is unfortunate. That would have turned into 90,000, made it a little more valuable. But I agree, eggs are more time efficient at this situation. Be interested to see if, however, Rex heading back to Earth got his leveled on Cecil. We'll be interested to see if he decides to dive Castle Eblin or some other type of trap chest. Fishing for a shiny sword could even up that adamant advantage that Silver's had now for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yep, we will see the moment of truth here if sylverfyre is able to get them down, and they are. So definitely a much better result this time for them. And we will see our first objective light up, and you get a fun spoon, something to throw if you're Edge, or if you find an Edward. He can equip it in this flag set. We've decided that Spoonward is definitely a thing, and sylverfyre definitely says, thanks for the objective number 6. Get me out of here. I never want to see you guys again.
So Rex saying, nope, I don't have time for Castle Eblin, so we will not be seeing Rex grab that adamant armor most likely. May attempt to take a few trap chests, however, on the way down, the 2 Stalemen in Cave Eblin, the 4 Mad Ogres in Upper Babel, and could spike some power there. We know there's no shiny sword waiting for him in Castle Eblin, but could still be something here.
Absolutely, there is 1 trap chest consisting of 4 Mad Ogres, I believe, in here. This is Stalemen, thank you. Thank you, I Am the Sky. The 2 Stalemen here, that's right. So, and they are hiding out in the infirmary. How rude is that?
Yeah, the hospital not a very safe place today. Rex will be clearing out the infestation that they currently have. Silver, meanwhile, heading on down to Sheila 1, setting up that check. Could be, something valuable from Sheila 1. Could be the pan, requiring the unfortunate triple dipable. But regardless, we'll see what that results in. This Staleman fight, however, not going Rex's way. Edge already taking a nap.
Yeah, the Stalemen are out for blood, it seems. They want to overrun the hospital and overrun all of poor Eblin's people. But with that blink, even though Rosa's going to take a nap right now, and because Cecil's such a good guy there, he's gonna block that low HP Edge there. It's, you'll have to see the auto cover strats from the guy Cecil there, taking one for the team even though he didn't have to. We'll see. Maybe this will get an adamant armor or a life staff, which isn't too shabby.
Kind of Rosa's ultimate weapon, but we're not looking for her weapon, unfortunately. It is useful, but it's not game breaking. It's not game changing. I wouldn't be surprised, however, Rex takes the 4 Mad Ogres in Upper Babel, continuing to search for power. Unfortunately, both here, defense sword, however, kind of nice for Rex, about Cecil's 3rd best weapon, on par pretty much with the light sword. Still not an actual shiny sword, though. Unfortunately, though, for Rex and taking this particular route, you have about a 36% chance of each Eblin Castle trap chest to find a tier 8. Here is quite a bit lower, I believe about 18%.
Yeah, and unfortunately, sylverfyre realizing that Sheila 1 only had a Bacchus wine, said, "Here you go, sylverfyre. You've been working really hard. Have some wine." Unfortunately, another zone here, and looks as though sylverfyre is just going to save, I think, and then make the trip up here and get their very own darkness crystals. So we will see how that goes.
While we have a little bit of life glitching going on with these Mad Ogres here in Upper Babel, Cecil will pretty much one-shot them, because with that rune axe that he currently has in tow, does bonus damage to mages, of which these Mad Ogres actually are. So, relatively quicker fight, and will be quicker and easier than Staleman.
And while that's going on, players converging around each other, just make sure that you give our featured brands a follow. sylverfyre and rexxraul. They are both awesome people, and you love the content. I'm sure they would definitely appreciate the follows there.
And at the same time, too, as we're retreading steps over here on sylverfyre's side, going up Mount Ordeals, shout out as well to Scala Kitty for rolling this fantastic feed and re-streaming like a boss, as well as to Scythe Marshall for pressing all the buttons. Haven't had to press too much, but I'm sure that's going to change very shortly.
Absolutely, and also shout out to my co-commentator Rybon. It's pretty awesome. I believe this is the first time we've ever worked together, and it's so far been a pleasure, and I can't wait for the next 46 minutes to roll by. It feels like we just started this again. Again, shout out to Spella. Z does very good work, and Skype Marshall. I'm sure we'll eventually get to push more than just that one, but I promise you, he will.
Of course. And Silverfyre now finding their alt gauntlet. One thing that the adamant armor is not going to help with is alt gauntlet, of course, being in the back attack location. Doesn't matter how fast you are, they'll always get their attacks off first. So this will still be a bit of a slog for Silverfyre. Still has the same edge with Flame, so won't be a single round attack to clear out every single one of these fights most likely, but yeah, it's still a little bit of a slog for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely still anybody's match at this point, and we will definitely see what we will see. We'll see if get the life staff on there, as Rex is unsure as to who's going to be here, and he's going to see Elements, and he'll probably be pretty happy about that.
Elements is one of the most wonkiest bosses in this game, just due to the way that they change their phases, just due to all the counter script that go on. You could kill them in 2 hits, you can kill them in 1 hit, or you could run into Ruby here in this particular second phase, usually quite dangerous because he will cast a Group Fire 2, Group Fire 3, and Group Glare. But fortunately for Rex, this is a relatively low magic spot, so very little danger.
Yep, as a runner, you love to see Elements here. You absolutely, because Elements can be in some really no good places. So getting some of the easy bosses out of the way, but also some of the hard bosses out of the way. There, it's Val kind of says, you know what, I'll let you hit me. I bet my trigger. And behind it, we're going to see Asura there. Should not be an issue. Rex will be underground about 20-ish minutes, 25 minutes after Silverfyre, and we'll see what they decide to do with their underground adventure.
Mm-hmm. So Rex has the disadvantage of 1, not having adamant armor, and 2, not having mute knife, but he does have that rune axe, which should still do quite significant damage to Asura. It shouldn't be too long of a fight. Just maybe a little more dangerous due to having being far more vulnerable to physical attacks than Silverfyre's party.
Absolutely. Looks as though it's going to be Cecil doing the damage, and it looks as though Edge is going to double Star Veil. So Asura can't basically heal herself, and yeah, 4,500. You'll love to see that.
Silverfyre probably feeling unhappy with that white spear find. Maybe caught off guard by this wyvern, likely not due to having the adamant armor and the speed of the level that they currently have by this point in the game, but throw a little bit of Star Veil, played it very defensively, and we'll likely get through this fight.
Yeah, we'll see Forum take one for the team there, and looks as though Rydia was able to finish Wyvern off there. So Silverfyre is through there again. If and when they go to the moon, if they decide to go down the Twin Harp Road, they will find their Cecil, and they will go there, that's for sure.
So Nissy, we've seen many bosses so far. We've seen Asura, we've seen Wyvern, we've seen Alt Gauntlet, we've seen Knazo and Baigen and Valvalis up there at K value, but we still have a required giant. Who are you hoping to be at those 2 spots?
Man, part of me says hopefully CPU at Elements. We haven't seen CPU yet, and I love people trying to figure out how to shoot through 65,000 health at the Elements spot. Behind that, it's tough to say. The CPU spot in comparison is not nearly as dangerous, but could be Antlion. Someone punchy, someone fun. Who do you want to see?
I want to see a Demus.
Oh,
You
yes.
missed the elements. 65,000 HP of not wanting to preserve.
Yeah, I was trying not to go there with Demas, but definitely could be fun to see, that's for sure. As we're going to see some more music as sylverfyre is going to go and get their darkness crystal momentarily, while rexxraul at 51 minutes and 30-ish seconds is underground. We will see where he decides to go and what happens next.
So, of course, a great play for sylverfyre here, going to find their darkness crystal, which, of course, is required with that Giant of Babel objective that we have there at number 3. Also has exit on... actually, does not. No. Does sylverfyre have Quorum, or did they keep Quorum this entire time?
Yeah, I'm about 99% sure that sylverfyre still has Quorum, so they will be able to quickly get out of this cave and turn around and never basically say boo at this point. But here's an encore.
Ah, yeah, there's Quorum, of course. Sadly used their kamikaze on that wyvern, but, you know, a coffin will do the same job.
Or I'm always taking one for the team. We'll let the music play.
And that was our encore of Fighting of the Spirit from the Tale series, Tales of Symphonia. And sylverfyre will receive their darkness crystal very shortly, while Rex is cracking some eggs.
So this is what you love to see. He's already gotten 68,000 experience in about 45 seconds. Interesting play, Rybon. Deciding to drop Sid at this point as your anchor. What's thinking behind this? It doesn't quite make sense.
So, you know, oh, you mean putting Scotty on the ground over there on rexxraul side, I see. Yeah, for the most part, we don't want Scotty or our anchor to gain too much in the way of levels, too much in the way of agility, because that kind of ruins him as an anchor. Agility is kind of like a black magic. It's actually relatively easy to understand if you research it a little bit, but if you, the bottom line is, if your middle character, if your anchor is too fast, the rest of your characters slow down, or the boss speeds up. So, for the most part, you want to try to keep Sid below 10 agility, if at all possible, and we do have the ability to lower his agility with that Dwarf Axe, -5 agility when we have it equipped. But regardless, at this point, Sid will be taking a nap for the majority of the season.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm sure chat appreciates the black magic that is agility manipulation, folks. As Scythe has said in chat, it's easy to understand, difficult to master, much like this game.
Well, sylverfyre picking up the rest of the overworld check that they had faded prior to that very early hook dive. Finding their Rosa. I'm not sure if they'll take her here at this point or not. May have invested too much into that forum at this point.
Could you potentially see a world where Rydia decides to take a nap and you pick up Rosa instead?
Trying to think of such world, but with access to Bacchus lines, I don't see the actual value of it. If anything, you may potentially see Sid get taken out here for the Rosa, and Rosa could become your anchor because she's not too fast at level 10, base level 10. Also, that Rydia does provide some additional utility in the sense of warp. If we do have to do a Luca key dive eventually, that warp is going to come invaluable.
Looks as though we were all wrong. And those apples that Quorum got fed earlier, let's go Rosa. Let's get her to level 38 at least, and let's get cracking.
So by ditching that Porum, Silverfyre no longer has access to exit, which may come into play later, but the next time I think we'll likely see an exit cast will be the Lunar Subterrane, and there will be a Cecil waiting for Silverfyre at that entrance, so not too much of a loss there.
So we've heard about first Rosa. Have you ever heard about second Rosa?
Silverfyre has heard of it and doesn't want to hear about it. Resets out of it, doesn't have time to wake up the Sleeping Beauty.
Fair enough. I would definitely, at this point, the Sieve definitely not take a second Rosa. So it might be fun to have one, as you know, fighting Rosa with the heroine robe and the other one doing the healing. But I totally get how they have their party set up. That's major.
So as Silverfyre lifts their Lunar Whale, we have rexxraul finishing up the Magus Sisters over down in Feymarch, rewarded with a dart, effectively, another Dragon Spear. We'll have a much more challenging time, however, with this Mom Bomb here, not having that Adamant armor. The Adamant advantage has remained in Silverfire's court for about 40 minutes now, continues to compound. It's going to feel pretty bad for Rex if he has to double dip this Feymarch if he can't get to this Mom Bomb right now.
Yeah, I feel as though he has a little more levels than Silverfyre did when they challenged us Mom Bomb, but and a Cecil. So it's a tough play here. I mean, we'll see how it plays out, but I think they're gonna do what they can. Diamond armor is no adamant, but it's serviceable.
Yep, that's true. Rex will be able to potentially do cover strats with blinks in order to try to get through this early Mom Bomb. We'll probably have superior offense in terms of a Rune Axe swinging Cecil and better weapons on that edge. So may have little trouble with this Mom Bomb. It really depends on where the initial hits come out.
Absolutely, as we do see Silverfyre go up to the moon, and we're going to check the Hummingway shop. And I don't think there's I think there might have been elixirs in there, but beyond that, Leviathan and Light, which you don't hate to see Light, and there are Star Veils there, so that's always nice to have a few extra of those. We do see the blinks on rexxraul's side there, as he's definitely getting up there while Edge does his best sunbathing pose there. Love to see it.
Our tracker, Sites Marshal, pointing out that Rex did indeed pick up a defense sword. I do remember that happening in Cave Eblin, but unfortunately berserked up the Cecil before equipping it, having that Rune Axe on for that Magus previous fight. So we'll be doing a little less damage in this particular situation.
Yeah, the Rune Axe is good, but unfortunately its accuracy, I believe, is 40 or 50%. It's pretty low.
Yep, still doing about 1,400 damage a swing though. Edge doing about 1,400 damage himself. 3,000 damage or 6,000 damage per round. If Rex can keep these blinks up, can keep his berserkers going, he will actually kill this Mom Bomb before it explodes and should be through this fight.
You love to see it. Also, Silverfyre picking up Cecil and saying goodbye to everybody's favorite kid sorcerer, Rydia. It was good while it lasted there. Slapping on the dwarf axe, definitely interesting, but not backrolling. Cecil, definitely an interesting choice there. With this flag set, we do have introduced in version 4.5 the back row flag. It is currently off. for the, or sorry, it is currently on for the group flags, but will be turned off for the bracket flags. So previous to 4.5, the back row glitch was an automatic glitch built into the game, but through the magic of the wacky flags, from what I've been able to gather, they were able to separate that. And so now when you're in the back row, normally you're supposed to do half damage and take half damage, but with the glitch on, you can do full damage from the back row, but only take half damage. So we'll see how that plays out in the future, that's for sure.
And Rex doing a great job getting through that mom bomb in his first attempt. Will be rewarded with his first objective completion and a spoon. Interestingly enough, we're past the 1 hour mark. Our runners don't have more than 5 key items. This is quite low for this amount of time played, so it's been a very bare Earth. I expect this moon to be completely loaded with key items.
Yep, get your moons loaded emotes out in chat, folks. I think it is going to be a cornucopia of key items. As Rex is going to go into Sylph Cave and unfortunately get the bad news from Sheila 1, although a Bacchus wine is nothing to sneeze at, but it's definitely not what you're looking for if you're Rex at this point. Meanwhile, we see Sylverfyre. They are going to take this Siren fight with the 3 Warlocks, looking for, you would hope to see a Mute Bell, just kind of hanging out in your inventory, but unfortunately not. So they will take them down in the more traditional way. Here's a Coffin Warlock. Have a nice day. But yeah, it's been a bit of a slog for our runners now. As you said, now we're in 4 key items for each on either side, and one objective lit up. Skype Marshal must just be hanging out, must be living the dream.
We'll put him to work eventually. And we're seeing a Warlock grind over here on Sylverfyre side. A grind you generally don't see very often on this flag set. Many more are more popular, but you can pull a fair amount of XP from these Warlocks. I believe with life glitches, nearly 90k. We'll probably only see one. Sylverfyre just wants to get that Cecil online and that Rosa online, get Berserk, get Blink, get Cure 3, and off to do moon checks most likely behind the power of that Adamant armor. Now, let me pose you a question real quick. Sylverfyre, if you're Sylverfyre, you have an Adamant armor, you now have a Cecil. Do you consider moving that Adamant from Edge to Cecil? And if so, when do you do it?
You know what, Ryben? That's a great question. Now, people may not know because in the vanilla game we didn't know because you needed a pintail to get Adamant. And nobody got time to farm pink cups. But in free enterprise, Adamant armors are a little more plentiful. Now they have one small drawback. When you remove them, they basically give you weakness to the 3 elements, and that's no bueno. So at this point, I think I leave it on Edge. I'm gonna bank on running into a pink tail somewhere for Cecil, just because, as you see there, Edge doesn't work. I mean, he's got new bags, so he's cheating a little bit, but Cecil seems to be, or Cecil seems to be okay doing what he's doing. So for now, I think I'd leave things status quo, but I feel, Rybon, that you would be doing something a little bit different.
I can see the wisdom in both approaches. I agree at this point, especially if you don't have a decent weapon for that Cecil. It's perfectly fine to leave it on the Edge for the time being. But if you do happen to find an Xcal, a Crystal Sword, which we could easily find up here during these moon checks because they tend to drop like candy if there's no key items to be found, I would probably move that Adamant armor over because you do get that Adamant sickness. You do have that extreme elemental weakness by removing an Adamant armor from someone. But there's actually not too many bosses remaining, I believe, that can actually exploit elemental weaknesses on our party members. I believe with Elements gone, for example, I think we've already killed Leviathan. There's only a handful left, actually.
Yep, Ruby being basically probably the scariest one left.
I believe so. And we're also seeing something interesting here from Silver. Checking these chests, doing a little cheeky looting, maybe trying to spike a Crystal Sword or an Xcal from up here on the moon, because I did mention earlier you have about a 36% chance of grabbing a tier 8 from Trap Chest in Eblin Castle. But the highest place is here on the moon with a whopping 60% chance of spiking, some kind of tier 8 item, which would really put the advantage in sylverfyre's camp by leaps and bounds.
Absolutely. As we see the Warlock and 3 carry chests, we did see sylverfyre. They spiked a Stardust Rod. Too bad they don't have a Black Mage to use it, because that is the best Black Mage weapon in the game. And we do see on rexxraul's side, he is deciding to take Dwarf Castle here and runs into some Dark Imps, which shouldn't give him too much trouble, that's for sure.
A little punchy here, but as you mentioned, I agree, shouldn't be too much trouble. A very angry Edge and also very tiny Dark Imp pose a little threat.
Yes, now please do 1 damage, maybe even, yeah, not even, I was gonna say maybe 2, but they are down, and we will see what goes on here with the Golbez spot as sylverfyre gets through this trap chest set. We'll see if they're rewarded perhaps with another admin armor for their trouble.
We have a Sparkle. We know it can't be a Wyvern, and this is a bad place for Wyvern, so good on Rex for that. We find a Palom, not too interested unless we need an anchor. And from our trap chest on the left, we find it. We find the Crystal Sword.
You love to see it. And we see Pale Dim for their troubles. This should be pretty much open and shut. Pale Dim doesn't like when you cast spells on him. Got amazing magic defense, but physical defense definitely for sure. He counters with slow, and it's boom boom done. So I would definitely I like this play by Rex, but sylverfyre definitely spiking that Crystal Sword definitely doesn't hurt. Cecil go burn. Now at this point, like you said, I would definitely put the Adamant Armor over, slap that Protect Ring onto Edge, just in case you run into a Ruby, and basically go to town at this point. So unless, because I believe sylverfyre faded Dwarf Castle, if memory serves me correctly.
I believe so. This is their first time seeing the Dwarf Castle's key item. Could be something required. It could be a tower key, for example, or a Baron key.
Rex keeping us in suspense here.
What will be finished first? Will we find this key item, or will King, Queen, Eblin over here in, I believe, the Ribbon Room, just cast a few fires and take a walk?
We will see. Ribbon Room, you love to see King, Queen, Eblin here. Here's 100,000 experience for basically doing nothing. Their power is very, very weak, as you can see, and they go into their script. Looks as though Rex is going to win by a nose here, and we will see what Luca gives us. And it is a Baron key. It doesn't require.
So that's very fortunate for Rex to find here at Dwarf Castle. With the loot disadvantage that he currently has, not having that shiny sword, not having an adamant armor, he needs to spike. He needs to not god route, but have very fortunate checks at this situation in order to try to keep up with sylverfyre. Because as is, sylverfyre is going to get through all of these checks here on the moon very quickly and very cleanly.
Yes, unfortunately, the Ribbon Room, a bit of a zonk. It was a Dragoon Spear and an Apple for your trouble. And here's your buddy D-Mist. You hate to see it. I mean, you probably love to see it here. It's in the Plague spot, so it's got the lowest amount of damage, I believe, of any boss on the moon, save Wyvern spot, perhaps.
And especially, or most importantly, had the lowest amount of HP of any spot here on the moon. So we'll not be able to get it in one go around, but with the amount of damage these darts are doing, we'll probably be able to take care of this D-Mist before it turns into Mist a second time. Now, however, with D-Mist here, I'm running out of bosses I'd like to see up on the required giant.
I know, with D-Mist off the table, CPU's still there. Still holding hope for CPU at Elements. Maybe Ruby at Elements? CPU and Vanilla spot? Could be worse.
Yeah, with that Adamant, Ruby's not too much of a danger. Maybe Golbez up at Giant, because that initial virus he cast, I mean, Adamant does not care, or Virus does not care about Adamant armor. It's non-elemental damage after all.
This is very true. We'll see if rexxraul's chain here, perhaps. This Baron Liberation will lead to a check of the basement as the key summon flag is on. As sylverfyre, they were able to handle DNS no problem their second round, and for their trouble, they do get a ragtail, which could lead into a pan. It could lead into a tower key. It could lead into a rock, a legend sword, maybe even a package. We will see. These are definitely interesting plays. It's still anybody's match here. 1 hour and 11 minutes into this scene. Again, thanks everybody for being here, and we appreciate all the support here at Free Enterprise. Make sure you give the channel a follow, and definitely stick around. Adamant Cup is just starting, and it's just starting to get great.
As we said at the top of the match, it's a very exciting, high-stakes match for both of these runners. And there's many more to come this weekend, and I believe later this evening, or at least, no, I believe we do have one more this evening, but it's actually running concurrently. I wonder which one will finish first, because this seems to be a little bit of a slog, especially with the CPU over here at the Mossman Altar.
Well, if I couldn't see him at Elements, here's a good second place. So, high HP spot, 30,000 and change. It's not 65,000, but I'll take it. It's going to be a bit of a slog for sylverfyre to get through this, especially since you can berserk, but if both the attacker and defender go down, CPU gets a little bit angry and casts everybody's favorite spell, Globe 199, which laughs at adamant armor, and you basically fall to the ground. It's good times.
Fortunately for sylverfyre, behind the power of a Crystal Sword Backroad Cecil, shouldn't take too many hits, maybe 8 to 9 rounds of attacks to drop that CPU in the back.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So there could be a temptation to ditch this spot, but I think we'll see a full clear of this move from sylverfyre, just due to the fact that we're about an hour 15 in, and we still need 5 key items for both of these players. Well, 5 key items for Rex and 6 for Silver, actually.
Yep, looks as though a little bit of a problem there, but Rex was able to clean that up. The guards have a counter to physical attack. They will cast Size, and as you can see there, Cecil and except for at the bottom, I can't remember. They're a little bit small right now.
That would be Rosa at the bottom, I believe.
Yes. And he is through there, and we will see what lies beyond. For his troubles, he will see, everybody's favorite bard, Bardward. I'm sorry, we love you, but you're a despair.
But we have a spoon. Come on.
Yeah, but his Edward's HP growth is just so poor. I've tried on some practice bikes to take him along with me, and it just doesn't work. And shout out to whatever's on the left-hand side there. It was a Kaipo lady on the right, but I have no idea what was on the left there.
Kaipo lady finally doing us a favor by not moving.
Yep, first time ever. Oh, it was Zeramus. Thank you, Scala. It's my first day here. And a pan in the garbage can, so definitely double required. So slight advantage to Rex in terms of checks and completion, but I think sylverfyre, once they clear the moon fully, will definitely catch right back up and probably go by Rex, as the adamant advantage continues to show itself, as Rex has not even really handled the moon yet.
Yep, sylverfyre finding a tower key at the Mossman Altar. So just like that, we found 2 of our 5 remaining key items we need to find. So at least we know, at the very least, the moon dive was worth it. The moon dive was required. You have to go all the way to the bottom and take care of that CPU. So good on sylverfyre for choosing not to save that particular fight. Rex, however, could still find a lot of value up here. Could find everything but that tower key, for example. This pan could spiral into all of... it could turn into a package and part of Forge. That just keep Rex up on the moon for less time, probably potentially bailing once he finds that tower key from Mothman himself.
Absolutely. On the throne, you've got Antlion, everybody's favorite fake king, and basically just take care of some blinks here and throw some darts. And, you should definitely be down with that problem.
Over on Silverfyre's side, fighting at the Crystal Sword altar, we find the evilest of walls. Generally not too difficult for Silver here, of course, back behind the power of Adamant armor. This evil wall actually can't defeat us. Once we get to Crush phase, there are 2 items that prevent instant death, the Ribbon, which we don't have, and the Adamant armor, which we do. But I doubt we actually get to the Crush phase, because are you seeing that damage that Cecil's putting out?
That is some ridiculous numbers from the boy Cecil. 5,100, 3,700. Just going to town. Just proves how powerful the Crystal Sword is in this game. It is very overpowered. That is for sure.
Yep. With T. Wildish on, with Adamant on, the name of the game, at least for the group stages, is getting your equipment, getting your loot parity, or getting your loot advantage, which Silverfyre had really exploited this particular match. Backed by the power of Adamant, backed by the power of that Crystal Sword that they found just about 20 minutes ago, is turning this moon into a very quick affair.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, an apple for your thoughts at the Crystal Sword altar. They're going to keep it, and they're just going to exit out now that Cecil has some levels. You don't have to worry about Rosa learning exit at this point. And we'll see them come back in, clean up the Pale Dim spot, the Murasame altar, then probably head over to Cape Value, and we will see what we will see as we see Rex, who does not have the tower key. He was going to do the no, he changed his mind. I thought he was going to do the Penguinator special, but decided, no, you know what, I realize I have the Luca key. I should go check Seal Cave. This, I don't know about this play, Rydon. What do you think of it? I feel like it's a high risk, low reward check for him.
Well, it's a bit of a pain to do Luca, especially because Rex does not have a Warp Caster. So if there is value down here, he's going to have to walk it out, unfortunately. Regardless, it's not too bad of a play because it's about a minute and a half walk down. You check the key item. If you don't need it, you reset out. And Rex saves scum right in front of that tower. So likely planning to check that top of tower, keyless tower spot first, right after this reset out of Luca, if that's what he ends up doing. I do like doing Luca. He's chasing his key items right now. He found that Luca key at the bottom of Baron. He's like, I've been fading Moon this long. I'm going to continue fading Moon because if value's on the Moon, if go mode's on the Moon, then I've already lost. My opponent's probably up there. So I'm going to chase what I have rather than jumping all over the place. And I can respect this check.
Appreciate it. That's why you're great at this game, and I'm just okay.
That's not true at all.
Well,
but still, I agree, however, with Zeno in chat as well. Before checking either one of these, that pan is 2 key item check, one from the Pan Bonk and one from Sheila 2. So I'm interested that we did not see that check.
Well, as you saw there, liquid hot magma key, and we will skip that, but he is not going to, maybe he's going to go bonk Yang Pan here, yeah. That makes sense.
I agree with this play. You generally want to try to avoid doing keyless tower if you have freer or easy key item checks available because the tower key could be anywhere. We know it's at Mothman altar, so Silverfyre is going to end up single dipping tower, whereas Rex is going to end up double dipping tower most likely if he chooses to do top of tower prior to the moon. But you still want to maximize your chances to find that key item beforehand. Silverfyre, meanwhile, finding a pigtail at the Murasame altar. Not required, but a second Adamant. Hey, I'm happy for it.
Yep. Have you heard about first Adamant? What about second Adamant? And that basically solves your edge Cecil conundrum right there. Slap that on edge and you're good to go. And the Sylphs can give you a nice white shirt, which is a bit of a song. You're hoping that Sheila 2 does have the goods here as you're committed to this check now if you're rexxraul. You're going to go back to Babul and you're going to go, hey Sheila, You gave me a box. No. Interesting. You decide, you know what? I'm going to do the Penguinator special and not finish out that. That's interesting, Rabon. What's the play here? What's rexxraul thinking?
Rex may be gambling at this point. He may feel behind. He's done a lot of zonks thus far. He may be thinking, well, it's Keyless Tower. I'm hoping Keyless Tower has Tower Key. My opponent hasn't done it. And that could potentially give him a little bit of an advantage. There could still be value up here. There could be a package. There could be part to forge that he'd be happy to find. But we know that Silverfyre is going to single dip this tower, having found that tower key. Destroying the super cannon is an objective. It's a good play based on Rex's understanding and the knowledge he has available, but knowing what we know from the booth, this is not going to be the optimal play for Rex.
Scythe Marshall in chat, thanks for helping me out there. I'm still a little rusty, shaking off the rest there. As the Penguinator special is, only check with the tower key and not go to the top of the tower. As everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. As we do see Yang here, which is going to make this fight very trivial with our Cecil. As after that, basically that second punch, you'll use Cecil, you'll hit Yang, he'll go ouch, and he will disappear. And we will see what we will see. Well, on Silverfire's side, Val is just being a little bit difficult. Lots of HP here, and tearing through that very, very quickly. But still, she's a bit punchy here. So you hate to see it, but definitely through, getting some levels. Love to see it. And for our value, it's a party rock. Don't hate it.
Yeah, it's a party rock. I doubt we see Treasury check this time around. It's a little in the seed for that, and I'm sure Silverfyre feel that they have more than enough power and damage output from the equipment they found up to this point. But I could be wrong. Regardless, we found a tower key, an earth crystal, and a rat tail, along with a pink tail, from our moon adventure up here. Only one of those we know for certain require the tower key. The other two, however, could spiral into other key items that we need.
Yeah, and Rex showing us the power at the top there. He received the Legend Sword, so that is a required item. So tower, Lower Babel Tower, partially required. We'll pan out for Silverfyre. Quickly, the items, the key items are now rolling in as we have 9 on Silverfire's side. 9 also on rexxraul's side. So just a little bit of divergence, but both at 9. Definitely good times there, as we're going to see Sheila 2, I believe, at this point, and we will see if she has the goods, while Silverfyre is going to go and check the rat tail first. Definitely love to see that. It's the Zong Garment, Dragon, but it's not what you want to see here. And then let's just pick up another animal, because you know what, we're here, we've got a pink tail, and this fun little dude here is going to give us an animal, so why not?
Yeah, we are definitely running out of key item check remaining. We still have so many we need. We know where the pan is, we still need adamant, we still need a package, and we don't happen to know where those are at the moment. I would not be surprised at all to see one of them behind Earth Crystal, or actually Earth Crystal, because that Rat Tail sure was nothing, unfortunately. Apparently Pink Tails are worth far more than Rat Tails in this particular seed.
But there you go. Rex is ready to forge as Sheila 2 decides to have this big heavy rock, or it might be a light rock, I'm not sure of the weight, but we will see what we will see, and his Cecil will be a little more online with the next Excel. It's not a crystal sword, but Excal's a good second place sword, that's for sure. So negates a bit of that crystal sword advantage a little bit, but still behind in the adamant department there, but still hanging in there after an hour 25. Only 3 objectives lit up on our screen. 4. Thanks, guys. You're the best.
Yep, with only 4 objectives complete at 125, I wouldn't be surprised to see this push close to a 2-hour seed, which just shows how backloaded all of the key items have been. One of these things that the administrators were trying to go for when they designed this flag set was maximum or high completion rates, and that is certainly what we're going to see tonight.
Absolutely, I would be truly surprised if it's not. Well, it won't be a 17/17 simply because they're going to reset out a magna key, but it's a pseudo 17/17. I believe that we are going to quickly see here from sylverfyre, who I think, while behind in the objectives department, is going to now quickly catch up, as Rex has still not dove the moon. Probably still feels like he's a bit behind. But sylverfyre has had all those checks on the moon, is done with the moon, and does have the pass, so doesn't need to go back there at all, and just knows that all these checks on Earth and underground will eventually lead to victory. So definitely hoping for Rex here to definitely get through these moon checks very quickly.
So we need just one key item left to get to go mode, and that is the package. There are only really two locations that can remain, I believe. That would be behind the Earth Crystal, which sylverfyre currently has, or behind the Tower Key, which we'll be getting a check of very momentarily as sylverfyre climbs down to the bottom of this tower. But we know it's not on the moon. sylverfyre will be in go mode very shortly, as long as they don't fade Dwarf Castle for too long.
That's true. They do need to finish up Dwarf Castle, but then once they do that, they will probably be good to go. So I'm very excited to see how this rolls out. As you do see, everybody's favorite elf, Dark, hanging out. Gonna be doing his spells there because that's what he does. He's just gonna be an annoyance here. It's a low HP spot, and got a crystal sword sizzle. It does 99 damage. It's easy.
So Rex is certainly not out of this race yet. It's a little confusing to see, 4 objectives lit up on Rex's side, only 1 lit up on sylverfyre's side. sylverfyre does have the advantage right now, but Rex is still in it. Depending on when he decides to bail on this moon, if he heads straight down, just bottom up, find that tower key, find that Earth Crystal, could choose to bail relatively. Actually, I believe that Earth Crystal was behind save value, so never mind on that. If just decides to chase that tower key that he finds from that Masamune altar, could be caught up relatively quickly, could be in go mode.
Definitely could be. Although you think, the way I look at it, statistically speaking, I still have all these key items missing. I don't have, Pinktail. I don't have the tower key. I don't have Rat Tail. Maybe the package is up here if I'm Rex. He's got to feel like he's a little bit behind here, but same thing being said, sylverfyre is probably, if it's me at this point, I keep looking at the Discord channel, waiting for that dot done to come through, because you feel like at this point I'm still behind. My opponent must have made the right plays, and I didn't. And it's a very nerve-wracking time if you're a runner. That's for sure. When you're just waiting and you know that these seeds usually are 90 minutes to 2 hours. But as you see there, tower definitely required. Syl will be in the driver's seat now with the package, so they are in. Well, we're in no mode. They're going to be in go mode really soon.
Yep, upon completion of, I believe, Baron Liberation for the pen, we will have sylverfyre, our first racer on stream, in go mode. So Rex, we now know the path for Rex. Rex has to spike that tower key and chase it. And whether he does that or not, statistically, logically, it doesn't seem like something that you would want to do. As you mentioned, there's many of these key item checks up here on the moon, but there is that adage that we have going around this tournament right now, which is chase your objective, do your objective. If he chooses to do that, and if he feels behind, he very well may, trying to get any type of advantage he can over his opponent, then he would be on parity with sylverfyre most likely.
It looks as though he's just going to take the traditional approach. A lot of runners, very popular to check the ribbon first, and then after that check the plague spot here where we have Demas, which is going to be a bit of a slog again for for his team there, just because you can't Zerk up, because after 3 attacks, Demus turns into miss. So let's try and do as much damage as we can. And it's definitely tough. You hope that that Rex will be able to pull it out here, but I definitely want to say that even though Syl only has 2 objectives lit up, they are definitely in the lead at this point. You can definitely see how those adamant armors are definitely working in their favor.
Absolutely. The adamant advantage is very difficult to overcome, and Phil's been holding on to this adamant advantage for over an hour now. Likely going to change once if Rex happens to find that pingtail up there at Murasame, but if does not, then that advantage is going to persist throughout the entire seed. And one thing I just noticed, Rex fighting this D-Myth traded out the Excal for a defense sword. Why do you think he did that?
Oh, I was going to ask you, Rybon. You're the expert. I'm not sure why I would. Oh, yes. See, it took me a minute to remember there. But folks, because this game is very well programmed. Because Demus was the first fight in the game, they needed to make him weak to darkness so that Dark Knight Cecil could do damage. As a result, it made it very strong to holy swords. Excalibur being the second holiest of holy swords, would do much less damage versus the defense sword. Took me a minute, but I got there. Thanks for holding up for me, I appreciate it.
You know everything about this game.
Oh, well, it's only been 4 years. If I didn't pick up something at this point, I would probably be very sad with myself, but yes. But still going to be quite a slog for Rex. Unfortunately, Demus taking no prisoners and deciding, you know what, Edge, just relax, take a seat. So we're gonna have to pull him back up here. It's not difficult. It's more annoying than anything else. But you got Rosa with the leg too, so both there you
go. And we're seeing, Edge fall down to the D-Myth here. This is again another example of the adamant being important. Sylverfyre's character is taking a bit of hit there, but doing this is a very punchy spot, as you can see. Edge taking 1,700 damage from a single hit. Taking 1 damage if he had that adamant. So again, that early looting from Eblin really paying off for Sylverfyre.
Yeah, definitely makes me as a runner reevaluate my play when it comes to Eblin Castle, that's for sure.
But Rex is through that D-Myth, rewarded with a rat tail. Hopefully doesn't decide to chase this one. But this rat tail actually not a bad find for Rex. If you're feeling behind, you find a tower key down at Masami, which he does next. You have 2 earthbound checks just opened up to you, rat tail and tower key. There is a world where I believe he chases it.
There is a world, but is he going to be part of that world? That's the question.
And the other question is, does he nope out of the CPU here at Masami? Because that, if you thought that Demus did a slog, this thing.
Yeah, it's a slug times 5 at least. And as Xenocat has posted in chat, yeah, you're not checking for a curse ring at this point. Most of these flags not really require a curse ring. You just zerk up and you put the controller down and you let Cecil and you let Edge do their work. Well, it looks as though Rex is going to commit to the CPU fight, but it is going to be a bit of a slog here while the attacker hits you with Mazer there for 10% of your max HP. As we go there, you do have Rosa to heal. Unfortunately, you can Zerk, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Some people try and blink the attacker, and you're up to RNG at this point to get to be able to hit the CPU and not hit the attacker, and then hopefully your attacker doesn't die, so you don't get Globe 199, especially with only 4 party members up at Globe 199, basically dropping 2 of them to the ground. It definitely does make for a difficult recovery. That's one thing with Max Party 4 as flag set. You definitely want to have that utility, and that's why, personally speaking, I will go Sans Anchor in regards to that, as we see Sylverfyre finishing Baron Castle, liberating it, and taking the pan. I'm probably going to go and donk Yang and get the good sword shield.
Yep, and with acquiring that pan, Sylverfyre is our first runner in go mode. So probably feeling, heart rate just went up a little bit, most likely. Feeling like, crap, I'm in go mode. My opponent may have been in go mode already. I have to quickly route out in my mind how am I going to finish my remaining objectives? When am I going to, turn in the package? When am I going to route in the giant? There's an efficient way you can do this that could save you seconds or minutes, and there's inefficient ways of doing it, and that's likely going through Sylverfyre's head right now.
Yeah, I think you return pan. No, I lied. You forge, then you return pan, then you burn mist, and then you complete the giant. That's how I would do it, Rybon. How would you?
I actually lied. They're not in go mode. They don't have the adamant yet. We get that from Sheila too. So
yes. Well, we're in pseudo go mode.
Sylverfyre is just really hoping at this point that adamant is not behind thought, and luckily for them, we know it is not. Meanwhile, Rex is through this fight over here at CPU. That fight was longer than a CVS receipt, but it is complete. We'll get his tower key, and we will find out if he makes the play. Does he chase that tower key or not?
This is probably where the match comes and goes, and we will see if he goes back and uses exit. If he has an exit, because Rosa doesn't have exit.
Oh, we're chasing.
Oh, we're chasing. We're trying.
This is a race, people. This is a race, everybody. We head down to that tower. This is huge for Rex. He could actually pull this off, making a very calculated play, fading 3 spots on the moon. Murasame, fading K-Value, fading Crystal Sword Altar. That is a huge advantage that could make up for all the time that Sylverfyre picked up from their execution and their excellent looting choices.
You may have paid for the whole seat, fans, but you only need the edge right now, as it is definitely going to come down to the wire here, I am sure, as we see Sylverfyre burning the Village of Mist. There's a food there. You know what? We gotta go. You're almost an hour 40 in. You got no time to play around with food. You gotta go fast, so we definitely avoid this, as this is just an unnecessary time waste going to Kaito and taking up our food.
Yeah, absolutely. Fu, unfortunately, just a little too late to be included into this party. We'll just sit through this. Luckily, we don't actually have to, rescue Fu from the Kaito Inn. We just have to watch this town burn down, which we have done. That objective is complete and has been marked for Sylverfyre. And from here, probably going to go turn in the pan.
That would definitely be my thought, but my thought again first would have been you were underground. You're already underground. Just run down, have Coco give me. Oh no, that's right. I got a hand and shield. Mitzi, pay attention.
So Sylverfyre still doesn't know where that adamant is. As far as they know, it could be behind Lukaki, which they don't have yet. Oh, sorry, did turn in the pan already. So is indeed 4G at the moment. We'll be heading up to Giant very shortly, and Rex will be hot on their tail. Likely just have to sit through the package cutscene immediately after this. We'll probably be in the Giant, I want to say about 2 to 3 minutes behind Sylverfyre.
Yep, it's still anyone's race at this point. 1 hour and 40 minutes in, as the objectives now come in fast and furious after the first hour having, I believe, 3 or 4 objectives lit up in the last 40 minutes. You have just about the entire rainbow lit up for Sylverfyre. They just need to go in and finish the Giant. The Giant could still be gross, potentially. Here's to hoping, and we will see what happens as Rex quickly climbs down the tower and is going to be rewarded with a package, and will be literally 1 check behind, as he is definitely hot on Sylverfyre's heels.
So, with all the bosses we've seen thus far, again, I keep on thinking, what kind of bosses can we find up here that will slow down either one of these racers? Silverfyre, with those 2 adamant armors, will have a bit of an advantage if we find someone like a Rubicon up there. Just due to the elemental resistance that adamants provide, Rex will have a little more of a slog on his side. But I think most of the really nasty bosses have been accounted for.
Yep. Dry Laser axing in chat. Maybe Baigan. Baigan is off the table. Turtle's off the table. Val is off the table. Mylan Z's off the table. There are not a lot of bosses left. That is for sure.
There is one boss, however, that's still unaccounted for, and he laughs.
Yes, very true. Could be Golbez at the element spot would be White Rude as number 1, he has a lot of HP, and number 2, he does a lot of damage in that spot.
Yep, as Dry Lather saying in chat, Adamant Armor blocks a lot of Golbez's magic, but there's one magic it doesn't block, which is Virus. The magic at the element spot, not too high, won't kill any one of our adamant wearers, but the virus at the CPU spot will one-shot literally anybody on Silverfire's team.
Or Octo could be interesting. Octo, one of the fastest bosses in the game, and can definitely be quite punchy at this spot. And also, chat, Octoman, because he is in the DPC mode, is weak to darkness, but also strong to holy, as you see there. Burr only did 3,100 this time, but did 1,800 the first time. So definitely will be a little bit longer for Silverfyre to get through that. It's not going to be doing huge amounts of damage.
Rex is turning in this rat tail. I believe he's still searching for a pink tail. This is his general hope. I'm not sure what other key item he's looking for in this situation. Unfortunately, just finding a Dragoon armor, not rewarded for this time investment, but will likely be heading straight up to the Giant shortly after. Could be in the Giant, just on the tail end of Silverfyre killing this Octomam. Another good heads-up play from Silverfyre, throwing that Thunderclaw on edge prior to zerking him up. Being an octopus, Octomam is weak to lightning damage, so that Thunderclaw giving a little bit of advantage to Edge's damage output in the situation.
That is very true. I think chat saying that Rex was looking to perhaps spike that pink tail from that rat tail, just to get one adamant, to get something. Unfortunately did not, so is now going to go into the Giant. In reality, while Octo was fast, now that he only has one tentacle, he's pretty slow, and they are trying to kill off Sid, but no luck there, as unfortunately Sid is a bit of a tank.
Now, you'd like to keep Sid down here because you'd like to maintain his ability to be an excellent anchor, not just for the adamant armor wearers, but for Rosa as well. Will likely gain, however, 200,000 experience in this location, will probably gain quite a bit of agility as a result. Rosa may no longer be RA1, or relative agility 1, for the Zeromis fight, but I believe our 2 adamant armor wearers on Silverfyre's side will maintain that status and shouldn't have too much trouble putting out the damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, at this point, I'm not too worried. Everyone will pretty much survive an unearned Big Bang. I don't expect to see much more than 1 or 2 out of Z at this point, but Sid does make a great anchor. Yeah, so they are going to find out who here is at CPU. Maybe Ruby. Let's hope for something fun. It's Bahamut, but unfortunately, we're just going to do too much damage, and Bahamut's just going to count a little too slowly, unfortunately, for our life.
There were many bosses I were hoping for here on the Giant. Bahamut was not one of them. So, but I'm sure both of our runners are very happy to find these relatively free bosses up here. 500,000 experience for both of our runners. If you had first grind down on the Moon, you have second grind up here on the Giant. And we will see some very high HP totals for our characters on both screens once we enter the Roman fight.
Yep, as you see, Bahamut is down. And sylverfyre will be in go mode at just under 107 minutes here, I would gather.
Yep, so sylverfyre will likely be our first runner into the Zeromus fight, but I just want to say hats off to Rex. Being down not one but two adamant armors for the majority for about 90 minutes now, and still playing sylverfyre so close is a testament not just to his skill but his ability to make logical and controlled risk decisions, fading a lot of that moon and making a huge play to catch up here.
Absolutely. Hats off to both of our runners here. Yeah, Kane is not who we wanted at this point. I mean, if you really wanted an anchor, a base level Kane could anchor your team. You could trade him out for Sid if that's what you wanted to do. But looks like sylverfyre isn't really going to be worried about anchoring at this point, and I don't blame them. So we have a saying in the community, Rybon, when it comes to the time where Zeromus comes around, because we can't move them into the boss pool and randomize them just because big bangs would just really hurt. So what we do is we change the sprite, I believe. Can you tell me what happens next?
Yeah, so I mean, as much as I would like to find Zeromus in an antlion cave, apparently that's too difficult. But April Fool's is coming up, and maybe the April Fool's gag for this particular year. But until then, Zeromus likes to, cosplay, change his clothing a little bit. Thanks to our resident artist, Scala Kitty, I believe we have about 500 million, or 500, or somewhere between 500 and 600 the Zeromus sprites available that he could randomly shift into once we throw the crystal at him. So yeah, there's a little bit of a question we'd like to ask, and if you would like to do the honors, Nancy.
Whose butt are we going to kick tonight? And is butt cute? And does it have a butt? I believe that's. Let's show me potato salad.
The questions just keep on getting added on, and soon we'll have a very large dictionary of all these potential questions about butt.
I look forward to the ebook. But yeah, I don't anticipate too much. I'd like to see one of the classic sprites. I'm an old school guy. I like to see the old school sprites, but with so many in the pool now, it's so rare to see them. It's almost like solar eclipse. But I'm sure we will see a great one, and I believe there's a 1% chance that Sephiroth will be the sprite here. In this case, you miss a turn,
Yep. Would you like to draw 25?
Only if I make you draw 27 with my +2. Me and Mini Nits play. It's a good game. It's a good game. But as you see there, Crystal Sword Cecil Gobert. This shape doesn't really scare me. I just keep trucking on through as rexxraul is just behind there.
I mean, sylverfyre is doing a ton of damage here. That Cecil hitting for 7,000, 8,000 per swing, but sylverfyre forgot to say Uno once they saw this card, so they actually have to go back and do the giant.
Yes, if only. Maybe version 5, I'll drop that into feedback and ideas. They love that sort of stuff there, I hear. It does sort of look like 3 butts, butt with a line through it, but still a butt. We see a reflect. I love the hybrid strats. Letting Rosa getting in there with casual quad 9s. Love to see it.
Yep, sylverfyre cares not for nerfing, cares not for healing, doing so much damage that even with that Thunderclaw still on edge, doesn't matter.
That is for sure. As rexxraul does pick up the crystal there, and is definitely quickly coming to the realization that he has all the items and he is going to go, and this is still going to be a very close race, folks, from 2 great runners here.
Hats off to both of these runners, putting on a fantastic show tonight. Still to be decided, but definitely sylverfyre the race to lose at this moment.
Yeah, it would really take, I think, something extraordinary like Wombo Combo like Big Bang into Medio. Potentially, here's a Big Bang. I'm not sure if Rosa will survive. Rosa does.
Was that a nerf Big Bang, or did she just take 800 damage from an unnerfed Big Bang?
I want to say it was unnerfed. I saw 4-digit damage on our Adamant Cecils there. And that's the crumble. And clutch for Rosa, and GG to sylverfyre. We're going to get an official time here. Race spot. That's our official time there. Official race spot time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 59 seconds. GG to sylverfyre, going to 2-0. Rexxraul unfortunately dropping to 2-3 at this point, but such a close race. It definitely came down to the wire, that's for sure.
Absolutely, very exciting race to watch. Rex coming from a very large deficit, that Adamant advantage in sylverfyre's camp for the majority of the seed. Making it so close is outstanding race from both of them, and good game to sylverfyre, of course. We'll see if we can get him in here for an interview.
Yep, I think I'm not sure in regards to that, but definitely a well-deserved win.
So meanwhile, Rex is throwing his crystal, finds his Unomus, and the wines are being drunk.
And we are joined in the booth by sylverfyre. Hello, and congratulations still on your victory. GG.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about this one, except for the part where I got really unlucky on Mom Bomb.
Yeah, we were talking in the booth about that. It was just really, really unfortunate.
Just like the timing, just like worst possible timing that Edge couldn't just push past the explosion.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, it's a sure thing, right? And then it didn't happen, and then I also didn't realize that like that also meant that Edge is guaranteed to die to those explodes.
Yeah, we were really hoping in the booth here that you were able to push through just a little bit off, but still able to secure that win. What did you think of the seed overall?
Got that early Adamant armor, and I was pretty happy about that. And you know, I just decided to run off with the tournament titular equipment piece and just push really hard, not really stopping for any more gear after that other than like a few niceties until I got that Cecil. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I know where to find holy swords. You get them in moon boxes.
Yes, spiking that crystal sword definitely didn't hurt your chances. That's for sure.
And it's kind of like with the like, it's kind of one of those like, well, if I'm unlucky, then I get another Adamant armor or an Excalibur.
Yeah, you definitely hate to see that.
I mean, I wouldn't exactly hate to see another Adamant armor. Let's be fair.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Definitely. I mean, you had to. Why not go for 3? Why not even G's go for 4?
Well, I mean, I didn't have the second one at that point.
No, that's true. Any questions, Riva?
Oh, I'm kind of curious to watch this one back. See where I bled time, see where I gained time.
Well, you did a great race tonight. I mean, you did, I believe, 26 out of 28. You didn't do that Tower of Zot. You didn't, actually, 25 out of 28.
Tower of Zot, Odin, and Sealed Cave, I believe, are the only places I didn't go.
That's correct, and the Luka Key was behind the Odin spot. Great time for fading those 3 locations and having a relatively difficult early game, I believe. Sure, you'd had the edge, but so you dived that hook route really early. 25 minutes you were underground. You left a lot of spots unchecked on the overworld. How were you feeling about that particular gamble?
Didn't feel like a gamble to me. I had an Adamant armor on my edge. And then I see the Asura there, and it's like, oh, you are just dying.
Absolutely.
And that she did. But yeah, did it cross your mind, or were you concerned that there may have been a magma key maybe someplace else on the overworld that you were fading?
I wasn't really concerned.
Gotcha.
Even if it was like I cleared that route fast enough that I like let's say there's an adamant on the overworld, that also means my opponent's a lot less likely to do Eblin boxes if they get that magma key. So I feel like that kind of evens out.
Fair enough. And you calculated correctly. Your opponent rexxraul did not actually do any Eblin chests or anything like that, so did not find that adamant armor.
Yeah. I unfortunately I'm a little short on time, so I'm not going to stick around too long.
Oh, good. Then I do have
not...
one last question, though. So you move to 2-0 in the Crystal Ring group. When you play
Yep.
next?
So tomorrow I'm playing Sardin, and then Sunday I'm playing Xenocat, who's currently 4-0, and I'm maybe a little intimidated on that match.
I think everybody's looking forward to that match coming up on Sunday. Also, GG to sylverfyre. Well played race. Good victory.
Yeah, considering this was definitely a long seed, no matter which way you spin it, I'm pretty happy with a 150 on it. I'm especially happy with how well I handled certain bosses like the Demist.
Of course, the spoon is made for something like that.
Yeah, the spoon is made for that boss.
Excellent. Well, we don't want to keep you any longer, sylverfyre. Thank you again for joining us in the booth and going to 2-0. And we look forward to greater things coming up later this weekend.
All right. Well, thank you, and I will be running off then, because I have folks waiting on me for FF14 raid. They were watching this stream, and now they're peppering me with questions about how the rando works. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome. Enjoy your raid this evening, and yeah, we thank you again for providing us with this amazing content.
All right, thank you.
And with that, we are also now joined in the booth by rexxraul. GG Rex, how do you think you played the seed?
For the most part, I think I did okay. There are a couple things that that didn't go great, but for the most part, I felt pretty happy about how it went. Yeah.
What made you just? Sorry, go ahead, Brad.
I just had one question that I wanted to throw out early. So you found that Cecil relatively early, doing find that darkness crystal and all that. Was there any indication or any inclination to go, holy sword diving in Eblin or other trap chests?
Kind of, but it was like a choice. I could either gamble those chests and hope to spike something really nice there, or I could do what I ended up doing, which was taking that one egg on the moon for the 2 gold dragons. It was kind of a weird situation because that was my plan going in. I was kind of thrown for a loop with the Cecil, so I decided to go that. After that, I felt I was strong enough to get through the hook seed, especially since I had a rune axe for the Asura. So I didn't feel like I needed to spend the extra time there. I did do the trap chests on the way, hoping to spike that, and I did pull out a defense sword. It wasn't a trap chest, but it definitely made me feel better about skipping the Eblin chest.
Absolutely. I was just going to ask. You spiked the tower key at the bottom of the moon. What made you decide at that point? You know what? I'm going to chase that.
Well, I had the fact that I already had the rat tail was the reason that I decided to chase that, because that means I had 2 additional checks to possibly hit that package with the tower key and the rat tail. So I figured at that point, and I was going to have to walk back up at least to the crystal sword altar. I didn't have a source of warp, so if I'm going to exit out anyways, I might as well check those 2, complete the objective that I know, and if so, I might be able to skip the crystal sword Murasame and that Valvolus over in Bahamut that I didn't do.
Yeah, considering your opponent had adamant armor about 20-25 minutes in, spiking it from one of the Eblin chests. You definitely hung in there right till the end. with that sort of a bit of a disadvantage there, not having the adamant armors and crystal sword that Sylverfyre was able to spike. Definitely well run. Yeah. Any other thoughts, Ryba?
I just want to echo what you said. Rex, you seem to be running from behind for the majority of the seed, just having that adamant disadvantage. I was really rooting for you to go to Eblin and find an adamant, but when you made that play to just chase that tower key, like you just cut off nearly 10 minutes from Sylverfyre's advantage. So it was an excellent, very well calculated play, leaving those through 3 lower chance lunar objectives. And I just want to commend you on that. I'm sure it hurts to fall down to 2-3. You might need a little bit of help to make the play-in game, but regardless, you performed admirably tonight.
Well, the other factor was knowing I'm going against Sylverfyre, who I knew was a very good runner. Figured I needed to make a gamble, and I think playing safe would be full clearing the moon there. So I wanted to do something, and I'm glad that helped. As far as the Adamant and Eblin go, it seems like that's the way it is. Like the times where I go to Eblin, it's not there. The times where I don't go to Eblin, it's definitely there. So whatever.
Schrodinger's adamant armor, after all.
That's what it is, for sure. Yeah, if I had gone to Eblin, Sylverfyre would not have an adamant. But I wouldn't either, because it wouldn't be there.
The seed just dynamically deletes those whenever you try and find them.
That's what it seems to be, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm with you there. I never find adamants in Eblin. Well, I think that just about wraps up. Any final thoughts, Rex?
Well, this is a pretty close group, I think, here in Crystal Ring. I don't think I'm necessarily out of it. There's some chances for ties to get into that because, I think now, Xenocat's still undefeated and Sylverfyre now moving to, I think, 2-0 here. So depending on how Saradin plays the rest, I might be able to squeeze into a tiebreaker. I'm not counting on it, but it would be nice.
It's definitely possible. If Saradin drops the next 2 games, then it'll be you and Saradin playing for 3rd place in a tiebreaker to play potentially Xenocat or Sylverfyre in the play-in game. So hope it's not gone yet.
And my last race against Saradin, I only lost by 1 minute, so that would be a good rematch as well.
So a lot of drama left in your group, and I look forward to seeing how it plays out.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you. Just a reminder to everybody, make sure you give these runners a follow. They definitely give us some great content. And without them, it would just be me and Rybon here just talking about memes and other stuff and adamant armors for an hour and a half. So definitely give them a follow. Also, shout outs again to Skullakitty, making sure that nothing goes on fire and that everybody can see everything great. Also, shout out to Skype Marshall, clicking the buttons, making sure that everything lights up great. And also to my amazing commentator, Rybon, make sure you give all of them a follow. They are all amazing people. And without it, again, it might just be me here talking about adamant armors for an hour and a half.
Of course, it was a pleasure, Nitsi. Fantastic doing comms with you. And Rex, again, thank you very much for putting on a fantastic show tonight. But we're not done yet here with Free Enterprise, no. I did mention earlier on, this was not the last race of the night. The last race of the night is between CS Radical and Mike 34 over on Free Enterprise 2. So we'll be radio over there momentarily. The usual, the usual warnings, no spoilers or anything like that. People do indeed watch these VODs after the fact to, see the excitement of the Adamant Cup group races. So again, don't try to spoil it for them, and have a great time over there.
Yeah, absolutely. As my co-commentator, amazing co-commentator Rybon said, you'll get the newspaper, spam those hats, and give them your support. They are also amazing people as well. So for me and the entire Free Enterprise team here, have yourselves a wonderful night.